Well, what Patrick Brown has done, if you can look behind me, he has built this incredible hockey rink. It is very impressive. We have been tipped off that the Brampton Fire Department has been flooding Patrick Brown's personal hockey rink in his backyard. That's what I heard.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
All I know is they sold to Patrick Brown, yeah.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Brampton, Ontario. And folks, we all know how much Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown loves to play hockey. I mean, we busted him at the lockdown arena, the supposedly lockdown arena, back in July 2020. I'm sure you remember that incredible footage. Check it out. Holy mackerel, I think I see Patrick Brown himself. David Menzies with Rebel News.
You're in a city facility?
Yeah, so are you.
Yeah.
So, are you playing hockey here? Or?
No, I'm just coming to check in our facility. You're not supposed to be here, actually.
Are these taxpayer dollars being used for your buddies to play hockey on this rink? Why is it one law for me and one law for thee in this city? Mr. Brown?
So when they asked you to leave, they're acting as agents for the building, right?
Why don't you phone bylaw? You're the professional snitches for bylaw. We've covered that already.
You're trespassing all city facilities and recreation centers for the next year.
Officer, is this correct that we're being told we can't come to Brampton recreation facilities for the next year? Well, you know what, folks? Mayor Patrick Brown, the sneaky one, he always thinks he's one step ahead of everybody else. And instead of getting caught sneaking into an arena that's closed for the public, but not for him and his Barrie boyfriends, well, what Patrick Brown has done, if you can look behind me, he has built this incredible hockey rink. It is very impressive. It might be about the third of a size, perhaps, of a standard hockey rink. Our sources tell us that $200,000 has gone into that rink. What you can't see is under it, there was a refrigeration unit with piping so that the ice is always going to be perfect. And basically, this rink has been in operation since last winter. And the idea, I think, is that when the lockdowns kick in yet again, and I think that's a safe bet, say around November, December, well, Patrick Brown isn't going to get caught going into the Earnscliffe Community Centre. No, because he's playing hockey in his own backyard. And he's even got an illumination set up so you can play at nighttime. This property is very impressive. I believe it's over $2 million. It's an acre and a half of land in downtown Brampton. Here's another thing you might not know, but last winter we have eyewitness accounts that the Brampton Fire Chief, Bill Boyes, personally came here with a pumper truck to flood the ice. Can you imagine that? Using an emergency services vehicle as a would-be Zamboni. And that was going on several times here in Brampton. Here's the question. Who's paying for this? When you look at the equipment, the amount of water, etc. But I also understand that Chief Boyes and his co-workers at the Brampton Fire Department were playing hockey on this very rink on work hours. Now, I did reach out to Mayor Patrick Brown. He doesn't respond to any of our queries. In fact, we're kind of lucky that he doesn't phone the police on us when we ask him impolite questions. But I also reached out to Chief Boyes, and here are some of the queries I had for the fire chief. Number one, I have been informed that last winter you and other members of the Brampton Fire Department frequently visited this property with a Brampton fire truck in order to flood, aka resurface the ice. Is this true? 2. Assuming the above is indeed correct, who paid for the water used in resurfacing the ice? 3. What is the estimated cost of that water as well as the use of the fire truck? 4. Did you and your co-workers play hockey on this ice surface during work hours? 5. Do you know if a building permit was issued by the city so that this hockey rink could indeed be constructed? I haven't heard back from the fire chief, and nor do I expect to. And that's another thing, folks. My source says Patrick Brown bought this house, just like his previous residence on Main Street, from the Capel family. Now, in the previous residence, the Capel family, after the sale, put in $800,000 of renovations. In this case, $500,000 of renovations has gone into this house, plus the $200,000 hockey rink. Check out this video footage of a redo, a reno that would make Martha Stewart blush. Now, here are the allegations. They haven't been proven. I have reached out to the city. We do have freedom of information requests out to get the answers to these questions. The rumor is that the Capel family, for doing the renovations and for building the hockey rink, received the PPE contract for the city of Brampton that was untendered, and we do know that a check in the neighborhood of $1 million to a numbered company was sent to a post office box in Ottawa. Does that sound a little fishy to you? Is it indeed the Capels who are behind that numbered company? That was another question I had for Chief Boyes about how he sources the PPE vendors for the city of Brampton and what those contracts are worth. Again, no response. Now get this in the department of something smells fishy here. Earlier this week, I reached out to the city of Brampton, the permits department. I wanted to know if a building permit was obtained for this very impressive structure. Incredibly, the answer I received, ladies and gentlemen, is that this address does not officially exist. But how can that be? Like I said, you're looking at 1.5 acres of prime downtown Brampton property. So the helpful gentleman I was speaking to in the permits department did not have any information for the official address of this particular property. Again, is this Patrick Brown trying to hide the existence of his residence? I think what we have to do is pay a house call to the Capels. I've sent them emails for the last few weeks. They've gone ignored. And why don't we go to the fire department headquarters? We might luck out. We might bump into Chief Boyes there and ask him these questions. In the meantime, don't search for Sneaky Patrick in the next lockdown, folks. He is playing hockey right here in Brampton. And one last thing. Since this address does not officially exist, I pondered the question, and I guess it's worth a visit to the city clerk office. When he registered to run again as mayor of Brampton, what address did he put down? Because if you fib about that, you're going to be disqualified. And secondly, if indeed this is true that the Capels put in $500,000 of renovations and a $200,000 hockey rink, does that mean there are more PPE contracts allegedly on the way for them? Wow, they really do business in such an odd way here in Brampton, the Flower City. David Menzies with Rebel News. I'm just wondering if Chief Boyes is here today.
I don't think so, no.
That's his parking spot, right? Yeah, we're just trying to find out. We have been tipped off that the Brampton Fire Department has been flooding Patrick Brown's personal hockey rink in his backyard.
I'm not in a position to say anything.
No? Okay. I've emailed Chief Boyes, but have you heard that, or have you taken part in that?
It's the firefighter.
Okay.
Sorry, no cameras. I'll go get a captain if you want to talk to
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, they got a call right now.
Oh,
So they'll be driving out just...
I understand.
no one's here. The chiefs aren't here right now. They're out doing their turns around the city.
Okay.
So you'll have to come back at another time.
Is there a good time, sir, when Chief Boys would be here?
Boys, it's sort of admin, and this is different. Like,
Okay.
We're just firefighting.
All right
We're
then.
in and out with the fire truck.
Well, you stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi, I'm David Menzies with Rebel News. Just wondering, is Dave Capel or Manoj Capel here, ma'am?
Manoj is in a meeting.
Oh, okay then. Can we wait for him to end the meeting? And
Okay.
okay, thank you very much. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Great.
And this is for?
Oh, we're doing a story on Patrick Brown's house, and I believe the Capels have sold him a couple of properties, right?
Right.
And did renovations on the houses, is that correct? Or
Yes.
it is, okay, that's interesting. And built a hockey rink.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
All I know is they sold to Patrick Brown, yeah.
Okay then, and yeah, after the sale, they put in all that money in renovations. Then, I'm just wondering why they would do that.
I have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is, yeah, nothing.
No
after
worries.
that. Yeah, would you guys be able to come at a better time, or?
Oh, what would be a better time?
Okay, today's Friday. Yeah. The door's closed, we don't bother him.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, he's very important, right?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, see, the other query I have is evidently it's the Capel family who are behind the numbered company that has Brampton's PPE contract.
About all that stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Would you be able to ask him that if he could answer that question? That's what I've sent emails before.
Have you?
I have, and they've gone no response. Okay. Thank you very much, by the way. Dave's not here today.
No.
Well, there you have it, folks. As you saw, we reached out to everyone involved in this story for comment, but several days later, crickets. For starters, no one from the Capel family has contacted us. Maybe Manoj Capel is still on that very important call. Same goes for Brampton's fire chief, Bill Boyce. Maybe he's too busy attending to a 5-alarm blaze, but I doubt it. It's impossible getting a response from the city chief administration officer. He's apparently terrified to say anything that might offend the sensibilities of Mayor Brown. Speaking of which, as for the sneaky one himself, it's still radio silence. Then again, on the bright side, at least Mayor Brown didn't call the cops on us for asking insensitive questions. That's his de rigueur media relations strategy when it comes to dealing with Rebel News. Now, I did reach out to the permits department for the city of Brampton, had a very interesting conversation, and this is what I was told. For starters, 67 Main Street South is, quote, officially unverified, end quote. This likely means it existed at one point, but was perhaps merged with the property next door, that being 69 Main Street South. But given that sneaky Patrick Brown is involved, really, who knows? As for 69 Main Street South, a building permit was applied for on June 30th and July 5th of this year. Oddly, there is no name on that permit, but it involves underground work since the hockey rink is above ground. I'm assuming these permits must be for an in-ground swimming pool. Hey, nothing but the best in amenities for the Khaleesi of Brampton, after all. As well, we know the hockey rink was operational at Brown's house last winter. Yet, oddly, it appears that no permits were issued for this property last year when the hockey rink was built. And surely, given the size of this structure, a building permit would be required. But there are no records. In any event, I did again reach out, this time via email, to Mayor Brown, Chief Boys, David Capel, and Manoj Capel. Here were my 11 questions. Number one, I believe Mayor Brown currently resides at 67 Main Street South. Can you kindly let me know if Mayor Brown owns or leases the property at 67 Main Street South? 2, is there an agreement for Mayor Brown to purchase this property from the Capel family after the municipal election? 3, was there a building permit issued for the construction of the hockey rink at this property? 4, was the rink frequently resurfaced by the Brampton Fire Department? 5, if so, who paid for the water and for the use of the fire truck? 6, did Chief Boys and fellow firefighters play hockey on this rink during working hours? 7, of note, according to the Brampton Building Department, 67 Main Street South is officially unverified. Can you explain why this is so? 8, officially, it would appear that Mayor Brown is actually residing at 69 Main Street South. Is this correct? 9, I have confirmed that a building permit for this property was applied for on June 30th and July 5th of this year. Who applied for this permit? 10, I understand from the building department that this permit is for underground work. Presumably, this would be for the installation of a swimming pool. Is this indeed correct? And finally, number 11, who paid for the hockey rink and who is paying for, presumably, the installation of a swimming pool? Well, that email was sent several days ago, and neither Brown, Boys, nor the Capels have responded. It's still radio silence. But we're not going to let this story fizzle out, folks. We have already sent out several Freedom of Information requests. Stay tuned for those results, because we might finally learn who's who in the Brampton Zoo. And perhaps we should drop by in the days ahead and check out the swank swimming pool that is allegedly being installed at Casa Brown, aka the Brampton property that does not officially exist. And again, I must ponder who is paying for that particular upgrade and what, if anything, has been promised in return. Wow, the heat is on when it comes to that man who would be leader of the Conservative Party and perhaps even Prime Minister. Yes, I'm talking about that lying liar, Patrick Brown, Mayor of Brampton. You know, folks, we've caught his hands in the cookie jar in several occasions, and if you want to see our reports, please go to sneakypatrick.com, sneakypatrick.com, and if you can, please make a donation so that we can continue to do this kind of investigative journalism.